It's mostly when I look in the mirror, I see somebody, I just see myself. I look past the ink, you know, once it's there, and it's not like I'm looking at tattoos, I'm just looking at my face. I came to terms with that I was more chasing the experience than I was chasing the artistic value of tattoos. My name is Sean Gatz. I'm from New Jersey, born and raised. I've been a chef for years and years. I never expected myself to get into the culinary world, but I did because I love the people there. I love challenging myself. The long days, they can be miserable at times, but I grew as a person working in the restaurant scene.
Do you remember the first time you saw a tattoo?
Yes, I do. It was probably in the Guinness Book of World Records. I always turn to those pages. I loved the guys into the body mods, into that like full coverage look. I believe the most tattooed person at the time was Tom Leppard, if I'm not mistaken, rest in peace. But after that, you know, Lucky Diamond Rich, all those guys just blew my mind. It just seemed so surreal to me that somebody would do that. I was brought up in a very conservative religious household, so tattoos were very taboo. My first time knowing that I would be tattooed, I remember I was speaking to my mom. I grew up without my father, and I asked if she had any photos of him. So she pulled one out. He was tattooed. He had a couple on his arm, and that was just such a, you know, striking moment in my life where I was like, wow, I think I want to be tattooed, you know. My first tattoo, real tattoo, was by Dave Fox from Philadelphia when I was 19. I waited until I found an artist I felt comfortable with. I loved his style. When I got that tattoo, I came home and was promptly kicked out of the house. So, you know, it worked out. You know, I was getting to the point where I wanted to move out anyway, so it was fine with me. But the difficult thing was we didn't speak for 2 years after that. Getting tattooed was difficult for my mom to handle, but she has since embraced me, and you know, we're on good terms at the moment. So I do not regret getting tattooed. It was difficult for me to see my mom react like that, but I always wanted it to be a part of who I was. I wanted the tattoo experience. I wanted to live that life. So in my life, it really wasn't a choice I made. It just kind of fell upon me. I guess that's the best way I can say it. My first piece was my rib panel by Dave Fox. It was a big piece to start with, but I always wanted a bodysuit, so I figured let me get the bad ones out of the way first. So that's how I start there. And then I moved on to a stomach piece. I have a severed head from Mutsuo from Three Tides Tattoo in Osaka. And then I have a chest piece done by Tomo from Silk Needle. He used to work with Shige at Yellow Blaze, but he has since moved on to his own studio. And then down the road, I found and met Hootie, and we did my head, my sleeve, and we just kind of hit it off. So, yeah.
You said you wanted to get the bad ones out of the way first. Like, so you went directly for what you heard would be the most painful? Essentially, yes. I also wanted to start with something that would be coverable. I didn't want a noticeable tattoo as my first one. Doesn't matter anymore being this covered, but yeah. So yeah, I did have a thought process going into it. You know, let me get one that I can hide at first, and yeah. So, but there was an aspect of me getting the painful one out of the way, just so I got the full experience. So I knew what I'd be getting into by getting an entire bodysuit over my lifetime. I think everybody in their lives has something that they're passionate about, or something that just keeps popping up in their life. They just can't get it out of their mind. They just keep thinking about it. And for me, I think that was tattooing. I'm missing some pieces, but you know, it's intentional in a way. There are artists I have in mind who I want to do my sleeve, my back. So I'm kind of leaving those spots as complete sections that I can have work done. Is there a certain tattoo where you feel that you went from being just person with tattoos to tattooed person? If that makes sense. Yeah. It's got to be my head. Yeah, my forehead. That was a moment where, as somebody put it, that's not a tattoo, that's a tattoo, you know? It's life-changing, it really was, and it opened my mind, and I've gotten to experience a lot because of it, you know, good and bad. When it first was popped up on people's Instagram feeds, it it did get some reactions, a lot of hateful comments, a lot of, this confuses me a bit, but a lot of racial reactions. I'm not really sure where they get the idea that it's racially motivated. I guess blackout tattoos still confuse a lot of people, but yeah, a lot of those, you know, saying, oh, this guy is half an inch away off his mustache from being a Hitler lookalike or something, but just absurd things that I couldn't even believe I was reading. A lot of people are pissed off at blackout tattoos. I feel like it's becoming a trend for better or worse, but you know, originally there was a lot of anger, especially from the tattoo community. And I'm not gonna call out anybody in particular, but there is a lot of ego, there is a lot of gatekeeping towards tattooing. There are people who feel that a tattoo has to be a certain way and it has to reflect an artistic side of you. And to me, a tattoo is really just putting ink in your skin. You know, it's to mark a time and a place and a memory if you want. You don't have to read too much into them. You don't need a whole lot of meaning. I think just getting the tattoo in itself is quite meaningful. So regardless of what you believe, that's how I feel. And I think black work really speaks to me in that regard. There was a moment after it was done, you know, there was a longer story to it. It did start as a tattoo I did on myself. I was in a very dark place in my life. You know, I was coming off a suicide attempt. I'd been hospitalized for 3 months because, you know, it was severe, but obviously I'm still here. So, you know, I think that thing I did on my face was just kind of an extension of that part of my life, you know. A lot of things I had to work through. And whether it was me expressing self-hatred or me just wanting to get all my feelings out there, I'm not really sure, but yeah, I did take a tattoo machine to my forehead with the intention of doing some damage to my face. So after that, after I woke up and realized that I would be living with this, it was a difficult time, but I never regretted it because I knew what I was going through in my mind, and having that there on my face was a reminder every day that I had to keep working on myself and bettering myself as a person. And by the time I had done all those things, I had loved the tattoo, even in the horrible state it was in. So that is when I chose to have Hootie black it out properly. It's a reminder that I got through it and that I never have to go back there. You know, a lifelong battle with depression has been extremely difficult on me, but in a way, the tattoo helped me realize that I don't have to fall victim to depression. I can live hand in hand with it. I don't have to listen to all those thoughts. I can, you know, I can be positive. I can live a fulfilled life, even having those difficult thoughts sometimes, you know. The tattoos themselves didn't do anything as far as my confidence level. If anything, it hurt my confidence seeing people's reactions on the internet to some of them. But I grew from that, and I learned that I can't be listening to what people are telling me. I really just have to listen to what's inside my head. And practicing that and getting used to doing that has helped my confidence tremendously, to where I don't even think about the tattoos. If somebody walks up to me on the street and makes an offhand comment, just laugh it off and move on. It's not a big deal. You know, you can't take every little thing as you know, a negative comment. You just gotta live your life.
I want to talk about the sleeve. Is there anything under there?
No. Originally it was a blackout I had tried myself. I realized how difficult blackout tattoos are from a technical aspect. It definitely requires experience, which I did not have a whole lot of. And I realized that I had to turn to a professional. So along with the head, you know, Hootie started working on the sleeve. I like the look of the black on black, so I tried to encourage him to do a little bit of that. And yeah, this is what we came up with. It's been, you know, it's still a work in progress. We're moving down the hand, the palm. We're trying to black out, but it is an extremely difficult feat to get a solid black palm. So we might go in there with some dot work. The healing process was brutal. You know, it was something I went into. I said, I want to try it. I don't care if all the ink falls out. And you know, he laughed. He was like, dude, you're crazy, but all right, let's go for it. So yeah, we'll have a second round on that at some point with the stippling, because that's known to hold a little bit better in that skin. So we'll get it black.
You're determined?
Yeah,
You do
I'm
it?
determined now. Now that I went through that healing process, I really want to see it solid, but one way or another.
How bad was it?
It was bad. It was brutal. It was, I think, the worst one so far. The healing was you know, it's not a couple day process followed by some peeling. It's, you know, it's been, I think, 2 weeks right now, and it's still peeling a little bit. So couldn't move my hand for the first week. So I was working with one arm, and yeah, that's what it is.
I want to talk about your most recent one.
It was something, I wanted another face tattoo. I just wanted something that kind of worked with what I had existing. I'd thought about it for a long time. I really couldn't figure out how to go onto the rest of my face while tying in with the angle of this one. So I ended up just doing this. Originally I was going to have Hoodie do some lines on me, but then I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do this one myself. So I got my old setup, you know, got the needles out, and I did a stick and poke. Freehand, but you know, I like how it turned out. To me, tattoos are about the experience, not so much the art behind them. I know it differs person to person, and I do appreciate the artistic side of tattoos, absolutely, but not when it's on me. Because I realized soon after my tattoo collecting had begun that once a tattoo was in my skin, I didn't appreciate the look of it anymore. It was just a part of me. So I feel like I've searched out more extreme experiences or you know, more difficult tattoos to either get or to live with, just because that's kind of what I'm after. That's what I enjoy in tattooing, is the process rather than the look. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing really crazier than saying, hey, I stick and poke my own face. So I don't know.